we are going to do the day two, and in day two we are going to do JavaScript DOM, because as I've always told that JavaScript is very easy to learn but very difficult to master. So the easy to learn, actually we have done all of JavaScript which is required to get into web development yesterday only. Now we are going to, what we are going to do, it is sort of advanced type of JavaScript, means not that much advanced also, but it is, yeah, because but this is required a lot. Like we are going to do JS DOM today, JavaScript DOM today, which is very much required. If you are going to work in pure JavaScript, this is very much required, JavaScript DOM. So after this JavaScript DOM, we are going to do async JavaScript, and after that ES6, and after that projects. So let's get started with the DOM. So what is the DOM? DOM means document object model. And so let me share my screen, because yesterday what we did, everything we did in JSBin, but a real thing, real JavaScript project are done with, there is HTML part will be there will be CSS part will be there, and there will be a JavaScript part will be there, which will add the interactivity to it. So we will do that in a real kind of a project. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, screen 2 now. Yeah, I hope you are able to see my screen. And see, I've just created an empty folder like DOM basic, and today we are going to do here, not in the JS bin. See, sometime we'll keep on switching sometime between here or sometime there. So let's get started. And I will create a new file here known as index.html, and then style.css. So this is how our real project look, and main.js. So three files will be there. It's next.html, style.css, and main.js. Let me increase the font size a bit, and then also it is a bit lesser. So this much is good for a mobile view. So I always keep the font size on the higher side because it's good for the mobile view. Okay, so this is done, and then what I'm going to do, this is known as DOM basics. Okay, DOM basics is there. Link css, style.css, it is linked. And one more thing, means I'm not going to write all the HTML, although I'm going to explain it, because this is a JavaScript course and not a HTML CSS course. HTML CSS course we have already done it. If you want to see, you can see the recordings of the previous week. So as I've always told, this is a 3-week program. So HTML basics were done in a workshop. After that, previous week was all about CSS basic to advanced. This week is all about JavaScript basic to advanced. Next week it will be all about React.js basic to advanced, and then you can become a front end, not a full stack, front end developers. Okay, front end app developer. I'm just not going to tell HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but it will be React also. So React week is next week. And as always, this is a certification course also. If you are interested, you'll get more access. The details I will tell at the end. Okay, so after this, so as I've told, I will just copy paste a bit of it, because it is not that much also. Okay, and this is not formatted well also, so I'll do all in Control Shift P. It opens the format selection. So this is a VS Code shortcut. Format selection I'll do. Okay, see now what I have a header in which I have written DOM for beginners, and then a section tag is there, some semantic. These are all semantic. Yeah, in the class container is there, then the form is there, in the form h1 is there, a div. This is very important. A div with a class of MSG is there. Okay, a div with a class of MSG is there, and inside the div we have input text name and email and a button, and one more thing is there. So this is something which we are going to use a bit later on, so we have commented out the code. Okay, and at the end the main.js is there. Okay, the 2-3 things which are very important. This empty div is there, and this empty ul is there, and this empty div is there. We are going to add a lot of JavaScript to it, and then you'll know the power of JavaScript, real JavaScript. So that's why DOM is very important. Okay, and as I have told, I'm going to not teach much about CSS also, because this is again not a CSS class. Okay, and save it, and the CSS is done. And where are you? Okay, so I will start it with the live server. Open with live server. Let me open it here. It got opened in my another browser, so I don't want it to be here. I was doing some React project. Okay, so like this live server, it is showing like this DOM for beginners, and just a form is there as this form, which has got a input type text and input type email, and a submit button is there. Okay, submit button is there like this. Then okay, so our main is also connected. Okay, one more thing, always you have to through script tag we have to connect the main.js in which the JavaScript logic will be there. Always you have to do at the end when the body tag is ending, so you have to do it there. The reason for this is that if we put JavaScript at the beginning, just like the style sheet, it will stop the processing of all the HTML until the JavaScript is processed. So that's the way in which our site will be slower, and it will not even load. It will not even load. So that's why we always add the JavaScript at the end. But the main function of JavaScript to add interactivity. Not so if there is no DOM element, if there is no button, then where is the interactivity? That's why we add JavaScript to the end, not at the start. Okay, and then let us come there and first see that whether everything is working or not. So we'll do console.log window. So this window object is very important. Actually we get a lot of things from this window object, and if I right click it, console it, see this window object have come, and window object have got a lot of things. Means it has got so many things that sometimes these things are not there even in the React. So DOM, so this is what is DOM at our window. We are going to access this window, we will get access to everything. And one of the most important things is document thing. So document dot, we'll see we are using a document dot a lot. So this is very powerful. This document thing is very powerful. You get access to almost everything with this document, with this input field and all these things, access to this and all. So I'm not confused more, and we will start. Okay, let me make it a bit smaller. Okay, so now actually what do we do in JS? We select different elements and then we add some functionality to it. So how do you select different elements? So we select different elements by, there are different methods for us. We do it through that. So like grab single element is like const form equal to document dot get element by id my dash form. So it is like document dot get element by id. So what is this get element by id? So get element by id is like we can grab a single element with this. Okay, so single element, what single element? So get element by id means getting something by the id. And my form, where is this my form located? If I come here and if I go do the my form is this form id. So the id is there, so that's why get element by id, not anything else. So get element by id. So this is how we grab the single element, get element by id. So I'm grabbing this whole form actually with this thing. So how we are grabbing it? So clg form, save it. If I come here, see I'm grabbing the whole form. I'm grabbing the whole form with this get element by id, which is very powerful. Okay, so now after that we can grab the whole form. That means a single element. So this is how grabbing a single element. So you can grab a single element by two other methods. Means one is known as query selector. So query selector, not two other method, one other method which is known as a query selector. So query selector, why query selector? Query selector is a different way to do this thing. And get element by id. So there is something known as get element by class name, something like that. But get element by id is very popular. And query selector is even more powerful than that, because you don't have to learn two different things like get element by id, get element by class name. Query selector you will give, you can select the classes also, you can select the IDs also, or you can select the element also. So we'll see that thing. Okay, instead of doing like this console const form, okay, directly this time we'll do the console log and document dot query selector h1. So query selector h1 we can do. Okay, document dot query selector dot container we are going to do. Let me move it in the top. Okay, dot query selector container. This container I'm selecting this whole container, and I'm selecting the h1. So h1, which is h1, only this. So h1, so if you give two things, what happens? The first one it will select. So that is one another problem. If you don't give some class or something, class also or something like that's why a class also is something like the container. There can be 2 3 containers. That's why always try to get give a id to something which we are going to select through JavaScript. That is not an industry standard, but most people follow that. Okay, so main.js I've done, and then I will come back where come back here. And okay, so see, I can select the whole container, I can select the DOM. As I was telling, the first one will be selected. The first one is this one, at the user was not selected. Okay, so now in the index.html we are going to uncomment this thing. Okay, save it, and it will show these 3 things. These 3 things it will be shown. Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn how to target multiple elements, how to do multiple elements. So this is the grab single element. Let me comment this out and select multiple elements. Console.log document dot query selector all item. So dot item I have done. See, dot item is this class. So I'm selecting multiple classes. I'm not selecting items. I'm selecting items. So I'm selecting multiple classes. So multiple classes I'm selecting, and we have to use not query selector. We have to select do query selector on. So now see how it is showing. Okay. So if I go here console, so it is showing something known as node list. Okay, so node list it is showing. So one thing to tell is that node list is something like an array, but it is actually not array. It has not got all the array method. Array have got a lot of method. So if you want to see anything method for this, you can go to the prototype and it will show us all the methods. So these are the node list method, like for each and all those things I have. If you open an array method, it will have a lot: filter, map, reduce, all those things it will have. It doesn't have that much, but it have this much. Okay, so this is a way to see also. Node list is something like an array. So that square bracket sort of thing is there, the index thing is there, but it is not actually an array. Array are very powerful. They've got a lot of functions, so all those functions are not there. Okay, so there are another way is also to select multiple items. So we'll see that, and that is like query selector, we have get element also. Okay, so console.log document dot get element. Okay, it is not elements, it is elements by class name. Elements by class name. This s is very important because there is one element also. Elements by class name item, same thing, but dot item I'm doing. So here the dot thing I have to do here directly I can do. Okay, elements by item. Okay, I'm going to do another one, clg, and it is document dot get element by tag name ally. Get elements by tag name. Elements s is very important by tag name ally. Ally is this one. So this one I'm selecting. Actually I'm selecting the same thing because this is item, this is ally, it is the same thing. Okay, so now I'll come here. See, this one is something known as HTML list, and this was the node list, but it is also like an array thing. It is also like an array thing. So this is another method by which we can select. Okay, so li is getting selected, both of the things li is getting selected. But one thing is there, if I open both of them as same, so let me close on. If I open the prototype, it is even less methods are there. See here, node list, the number of methods are more, for each is there, but here it is even less. Okay, so how to means do that? So as you might have seen that for each is not there, so let me, okay, so we are going to learn about one thing. Okay, so suppose I want to loop through this. Anyways, if you do something like this, you will definitely going to loop through it. So how I will loop through it? For that, what I am going to do first, let me comment this out. Let me bring this below, and let me make it equal to something, because I'm not console logging it here. Const node items equal to const call items equal to, like this. Node items dot for each. So let us do the for each, and we are going to learn about for each more when we are going to do ES6. But now it is a very good way to loop through anything. It's 100 times better than a for loop. And we can use arrow function. Also arrow function, I think we have seen briefly, yeah, yesterday we have seen briefly. Okay, console log item. Okay, like this I'll do, and save it, come, and I am able to select all of them. So let us do the same thing for call items. And one thing is that this was HTML element we have seen. This is node list, and HTML element is even less than, as you might have guessed, this will give me error because for each was not there in that. We have seen that thing. Okay, so what's the other way to do it? So we can use any traditional way. Okay, I will comment both of them out because I'll do the traditional way, and the traditional way like for okay, so for let I equal to 0, I is less than I don't want to do this. I want to do call items, call items, I is less than 0, I is less than call items dot length I plus plus call items I. So this I will do, and this will give me everything. Okay, so this is like how we loop through it. Call items, we cannot loop through call items like with the for each. We have to use the old type, and you might have seen this is much easier to write. Although if you don't understand for each, it is much difficult to understand, but it is much easier and much lesser code than the for loop. Okay, so this is the way. Okay, so what we are going to do next? So we are going to do, let me comment this out, comment this out, comment this out, and now let us do the DOM manipulation. DOM manipulation const ul equal to document dot query selector items dot items, document const ul equal to document dot query selector dot items I am doing, and dot items I am doing. This is different, and I'm not doing query selector all. Dot items is only this class. Okay, only this class I'm doing. Okay, save it, and then I want to show something. Ul dot remove I will do, and see where is it. The whole thing is removed. That it was selecting our ul, this one, And actually it is not industry standard, but we generally name it like this. Whatever it is selecting means, I could have named something else also, it is not UL, but generally people take like that. Sort of industry standard, yeah, sort of industry standard. UL dot remove, I'll do, okay, and it is removed. Now we are going to look into some main things, and let me again comment this out, but I will keep that other thing. So now what we can do, we can manipulate whatever is written inside the item 1, item 2, item 3. All these things we can manipulate, all those things we can change, and which is the reason it is very very powerful in JavaScript. And how we are going to do, we have many ways to do it, so let us do it with one way. UL dot first element child dot text content equal to HTML. So first element child, so UL dot first element child means, what is the first element of UL? This one. And text content is something by which we can change the text content. Text content is nothing but what is inside this li. This inside this li tag, whatever is the item 1, that is text content. So we are going to change that. If I go back here, see, it is changed to HTML. So this is how powerful it is. So there's some other things also like that. UL dot children, and I'll do 1 and 1. So 1 means, see, it starts with 0, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So I'm changing the 1 means I will change it. And inner text CSS, so inner text, that text content are interchangeable. You can use anything. It's means the same, this is CSS. So now, like the first element child, we have the UL dot last element child also we have, and inner HTML, and we will do after this we will do maybe h4 and JavaScript I'll do, and h4 and JavaScript I'll do, and see, it is doing a h4 and a JavaScript. Okay, so, and what is the difference? This is not an inner text, this is not a text content, it is inner HTML. So you can give HTML also in this. When we give a inner HTML, you can give a HTML also, any HTML you can give. Okay, so now we are going to select this this button. So okay, so this button is there, we're going to select this button. Okay, const btn equal to document dot query selector button. So we are going to select the button. So this button we are going to select, and btn dot style dot background equal to blue, and btn dot style dot color equal to white. So we're selecting it and changing the background. So we can change the CSS also. This is the thing. So style, when we're learning CSS, we have learned that there is a style properties that through which you can do the inline CSS. Okay, so this inline CSS, this is sort of inline CSS. Background we can do, and instead of background I can give the background color also, and you have to give a camel case. Okay, so the same thing, just like it was there, no, it was not there, same thing. Okay, anyways, you have to give the camel case, not a normal dash background dash color you cannot give. Okay, and see, it is changed to blue. It was not actually blue, it changed to blue. So this is how powerful it is. Okay, now we are going to learn one of the another thing which is known as event listener. So that, as I was telling, that JavaScript, the main work of JavaScript to listen for events and all those things, this is also main thing, but the main thing is to listen for events. So how will you learn? If a user can click on some button, there is something which is always listening. So this is the power of browser. So we can have a event listener. Okay, event listener we can have, and then this button we have. Okay, this button we have, and then let me have now btn dot add event listener. So it is like add event listener. Okay, and then I have to give a click, and I don't like this. So this is a sort of anonymous function. It is a sort of anonymous function. So click means it will wait for the click when some user click on it. Okay, so first thing is that e dot prevents default we have to do, and we have to console log. We are console logging e. We don't want to console log the click. We console log e. E dot prevent default is very important, because if you don't give e dot prevent default, it will refresh the page. Okay, and we have to end it also like this, because it is, this one is ending here. Save it, and now I will come here and I have to click the inspect, and you have to click the console and all. Okay, and now I'll do the submit. See, the event has been logged, pointer event and all these things. All this has got all this thing. Event dot target is also there. Okay, event dot target is also there, and all these things are there. Okay, so like this. So there is something known as target also. Yeah, this target thing, this is very powerful. Event dot, let me do a target, and if I click, see all the input box, this is, I'm getting this all. Okay, this I'm getting all event dot target. So this is how powerful it is. And now actually this all I will move it inside one sec. So we are getting that event dot target means we are getting this thing. Okay, this, and now we can work on it. So what I want to do, see, I want to, first thing I want to do this console log. Let me remove it. So this was just like I want to show some, show this thing. I'll cut all of this and I will move it here. So means initially it will be like, so what is happening, initially it will be like list 1, list 2, list 3. When I click on it, it will be changed like magic. Okay, so like magic it will change, and let me do another magic also, like this magic also will go inside. Okay, this magic will also go inside. Save it. So initially, see, it is item 1, item 2, item 3. I'll submit it. This is changing and the color is also changing. So this is cool. Okay, so similar to click, there are other events also, but it is like mouse over. I will take, and see, mouse over is something like when the mouse will come. So this is not very practical in this situation, but yeah, it is there. So you can look into all the events which are there. Okay, yeah, inner text and inner HTML are not the same. Are they? Yeah, they are different. See, inner text, I can just change the text, and inner HTML also I can change the text, but I can add some HTML tag to it. Like I'm adding h4 to it. Here I cannot use that, the h4. Any tag I can use. So that's why it is known as inner HTML. Okay, I hope it answered it. Okay, so now what we are going to do, now we are going to add some real logic to our already existing form and all. So we are going to add some real logic and type is submit and all. Okay, so we'll come down and let me do one thing now. First thing first, I'm going to comment out all this and we are going to do something. So this you can think is like sort of a real kind of a code or and all. Okay, and I'm going to comment this out again because we don't need it right now. So comment it out, And we are done with that logic, and we are going to now see the real how to submit this form and all those things. The real logic we are going to see. Okay, so now I'll come down here and const my form equal to document dot query selector my form. So, and dot query selector, let me name it right, doc my form. So this is the my form I'm selecting, and is it right? Yeah, it is right. Const name input is document dot query selector hash name. So this id hash name, because this is id's name, so I'm selecting that. And const email input equal to document dot query selector hash email, so I am selecting this hash. Then one of the main thing, const msg equal to document dot query selector dot msg. So what is this dot msg? See, there is a empty div is there, so this is very important. This empty div is there, we are going to add something to it. This empty div is there, dot msg, we are selecting it. Okay, just selecting it, keeping it. And then another thing is there is the id of users, which is also empty. ul is there, unordered list, so we are going to select that also. Const user list equal to document dot query selector hash users. Okay, this I have done. So after that, okay, so this we are selecting, and this my form is there. Okay, my form dot add event listener submit and on submit. Okay, so this is another type of event listener. Okay, so just like we have an event listener for let me change it back to click. So click event listener for a button, we have a submit event listener for a form. So form submit event listener also we can have. And this for one of the main thing is that this input class button is of type submit. So button also can be of type submit. So when we do this of type submit, it means that it become a part of the form. Now when I click on it or press the enter, it will submit the form, and it will have access to this submit also, submit and on submit. Okay, submit and on submit, it will have action. And then function on submit e. So e is something which we have to take. E was coming here also, e dot prevent defaults and all those things we have to do. And like, okay, one more thing, I am doing here, adding the function here, and I can take it to a different function from here also. Both of them are equal. It is not like this is better. Sometimes people think it is a bit difficult to understand, so you can do it like this, make it a different function, it doesn't even matter. And then it will be e dot prevent defaults, and then clg, it is, let me take name input dot value, because it comes in a value actually. Okay, save it, and then console log will not come here like this, and I've submitted. Now Bindu Vishwas is coming. So that's how we can access it. Okay, name input dot value. Okay, now we are going to do some validations also. Okay, some validations also. See, as I have seen, I just given my name and submitted. It should not allow to submit, like just a basic validations. We can do some a bit of more logic also in validations. Okay, and then if name input dot value triple equal to empty string, or email input dot value equal to empty string, means it means that user have not added anything. Okay, then msg dot class list dot add error. So class list, I'll explain it. I have a very good auto completion. msg dot class list dot add error. So this error I am adding. Okay, msg, what is msg is document dot query selected. This one msg I am selecting. So I will add a class list. With class list you can add some other class also. Class list dot add error. So what is this error? If you go here I have an style for error, which is just doing the background thing and all these things it is doing. Okay, and then msg dot please enter all fields also I'm keep putting. And why this set timeout I'm doing? Because this message I don't want to keep it forever. I want to remove it after 3 seconds is more than enough. I want to remove it after 3 seconds. Set timeout I'm doing it for that. Save it. Now when will this message come? This message I will come here, and again I will just do this, and I'll do this. Now this message will come, please enter all the fields, and it will go. Okay, one more thing I want to show. See, msg. Okay, one second. Let me do one thing. I want to show something. Okay, so I will, where is this msg? Inside the form. So inside this form, see this msg is there. Okay, now when do submit it, see this error class have suddenly came, the error class have came here because I'm adding the error here. And one more thing, you can see, please enter all the fields. This is also entered there. msg.inner.html I have entered. Please enter all the fields. Okay, and then it will not go. If I do this, it will not go. I have to just refresh it to go. That is not a good user experience, so we are using a set timeout. Okay, save it. Okay, now do else part, and then okay, so const li equal to document dot create element li I am doing. So this is a very simple example, and set timeout I'm doing because I'm just I don't want to validate it again and all. So this is a very simple example, not something like that. And e dot prevent default for okay, let me remove the e dot prevent default. Okay, and if I submit it, okay, see one thing what is happening. E dot prevent default, see this thing, it actually refreshes everything. E dot prevent default, so that is not a good behavior. That is a form behavior, that is a default behavior of removing everything. So that's why whenever we submit some form, this thing we have to put, whether it is React, Angular, or pure HTML, CSS, JavaScript project. So that we have to do. E dot prevent defaults we have to do. And set timeout was just thing for this simple form. Yeah, if you can see. Okay, I cannot do it again and all you're telling. Okay, okay, so you're telling this, yeah, we cannot do it. So you have to add the logic, you have to add more logic for that. Okay, you cannot do it, I know that you cannot do it. This is for a simple form. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hope I answered it. And and why so many? Okay, so first thing which I'm doing is ally. I'm creating an ally tag, which is document.create element ally. Yeah, you can do that also. You can create an element also through DOM. Okay, then ally.append child. So I can, from ally I can also append something in ally also. I can add something in this ally. I'm creating an ally inside it. Okay, I'm adding it. So add append child. So create text node name input dot value. So create text node name input dot value. I am doing name input dot value is whatever the user types in that, and the email input dot value also I'm doing. And then user list is this thing. This ul is the user list dot append child ally, and then I'm making this name input dot value and email input dot value as a empty string. So what is this, and where is will this be shown? Actually it will be show below the form. See, suppose I give something like this and give my email id, and then I will do a submit. So it will show below. It will show below. So it is adding it like this, and it will show below like this. Okay, so I can add something else also. Okay, like this it will add. Okay, so this is, we can just use inner html like mss dot inner html equal to, instead of message dot inner html empty string. Okay, inner html like this. Okay, okay, okay. See, messages dot inner html I'm doing, still this red thing is remaining because it's not removing it from there. So anyways, either you have to use something else here, and okay, it is coming back. So make the style something like that, it is hidden. That is good, but that's a very good solution actually what you have given, that remove thing. But the idea is mainly if we give something to the user like that, you can also think that okay, the user the next time you will definitely put something. And plus in the real scenarios there is a server side validation also. Not just, nobody depends on the client side completely, there will be some server side validations also. And anyways nobody does it like that, means mostly if you go to some other complete projects, this was mainly a DOM tutorial, means not a form tutorial, but yeah, you can do. And that's a very good solution which you have given. Think a bit more about it and change this whatever I have given, change it a bit. I think you already know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Change it a bit, it will be very nice, because this is a very good solution. I loved it actually. And remove the class 2. Remove the class 2. Okay, yeah, that is good. Message dot class list dot remove error. Okay, how we do this? I think we do this by, be like this. Okay, msg dot class list dot remove error. That's a good solution. Okay, gone. Submit. Okay, man, awesome, just awesome. Just awesome. Abid created a very good piece of code. Okay, so this is much more better than that. Thanks, Abid. So with this, actually, we end our DOM tutorial, and today it is this much only, because I want to do async, but I don't want to do the async today. I will do the async tomorrow, async JS, but because it's a lot of things is there in the async, because we are going to do promises there. First we'll start with callbacks, then we will do promises, then we will do, let me see what we'll do, promises. After that we'll do async await, we'll do promise all, and all those things. So all those async programming I'm going to explain tomorrow, and I will, it's a bit complicated thing. Async programming is not that much easy. And one thing to tell, that async programming is used a lot in Node.js programming, which is a form of server-side JavaScripting. That's promise, but promise you should always know. From front end also, promises are very important. You should know when to use promise and all. But in the front end, most of the time when we are doing something, we'll either use the fetch API or the Axios API in the front end. Means if you're doing pure HTML, obviously you'll only use the fetch. Okay, so with this I will end today's stream. Hope you like it, and as I have always told that uh, this stream is a part of a certification program. If you want the certificate, there is a link. And what's the benefit of the certification program? You get access to the weekly inner circle call, in which I will answer all of your technical doubts also, and all of your career doubts also. Group call it will be, plus I will give one to one 30 minutes one to one also, in which I can solve any of your career. Because recently a lot of people have asked me to give them some one-to-one class, a one-to-one doubt session. So it will that one-to-one doubt session will be through Zoom, but there will be a group call which will be on every Friday, and in which, if you get access to that, if you become a member of my community by giving a small fees, that you'll get the certificate also. But certificate is only when you will complete the assignment, which I will give on the last day. So that is all about, and with this I will end today's stream, and I will see you all on Thursday, because I don't do a streaming on Wednesday. Wednesday something else will be there, maybe in the afternoon. But this thing, as I've always told, it is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday it might extend a bit longer if I am not able to complete, but I think I will can easily complete. Someone was asking whether I will able to complete. I will easily complete. Okay, because I know how much it takes. Okay, so it will be like tomorrow. There won't be any streaming regarding to this, but there will be some video or some streaming, but not at this time, because Friday evening I keep free. Wednesday evening I keep free, not Friday evening. And so with this I will end to this stream. Thank you all.